Okay, so now we're going to go through this operator here, which means, essentially it means or. So now what we want to do in our system is check names we don't like. So here, we don't like the name William, we don't like the name David. So what we're gonna learn about this operator, the or operator, and we're also gonna learn about else if and else. Okay, so leaving off from the last video, again, you kind of need to have seen video 4. This is video 5. So in our data boxes here, data box 1, data box 2, let's say we put in John Smith. Okay, here it says the name is clean, full name entered was John Smith. But if we put in William Smith, it says, oh, we heard a name we dislike. Please don't use that name here. Now, what if we put Rebecca William? Oh, we heard a name. So if you enter, all right, so I think you get the idea. But so in our first part of our if statement, it checks and it says if, okay, well, let me put it this way. In between these two parentheses, if it gets false, or if it gets a true, if it gets true here, if this results in true, then this is triggered, okay? So what we have in this full statement here, we have two statements, and in between them we have this or operator. So the or operator, which is two straight lines, and where do you find that key? That key is right above the return or the enter key on your keyboard. I think you can find it at any rate. So if the first variable in the data box is William, or the second variable is William, either of those, if either of those are true, then this will execute. Okay? Now, if we also don't like David, we can say else if the first box is David or the second box is David. Again, we heard a name we don't like. And then our default, our fall through condition, will just say else, which essentially means if this doesn't evaluate to true, and this also doesn't evaluate to true, then execute this. So now our result will be, okay, the name is clean, the full name entered was first variable and second variable. Okay, and so result comes all the way down here, and we echo it, we print it to the screen. Now, if we wanted to, we could do this. We could create as many of these as we want. Whoops, let's undo that. Whoopsie daisy. Okay. We could do another one of those, and we could do this. There's our default, and we could go over here and say this. So maybe here we could say, all right, how about Sarah? Whoopsie daisy. So now we have another condition we're testing for, the name Sarah. All right, and now there's more than one way to do this, but this sometimes the fastest, easiest way to do it is the best way. even though there are slightly other ways of doing it. But okay, so here we'd also test for Sarah, and you could have 100 of these if you wanted, right? Now here, note with this else, we're not testing for the truth or the falsity of anything. Okay, we're not testing for the truth or falsity of anything. So if this one is executed, these will not. Okay, if this one's executed, this one and this one won't. If this is executed, this one won't. This is the fallback condition. But this if block will stop executing as soon as one of these returns true. Okay, it will stop. It won't go on. It will just go out and proceed on to this point, what's called the flow of control. The flow of control will stop if this one, let's say William was entered in the first variable. All right, boom. Now this is the result, and it comes all the way over here. It skips all this. It will come all the way over here and then start executing downward in our code. And all this stuff, these variables are being assigned, right? We assign orange to the array element 1, we assign apple to array element 2, but we're not doing anything with them, so our code just keeps it going down here, all right, and our PHP code sends all this out to the browser, sends all that out to the browser, sends this out to the browser, comes over, checks again, is this a post? All right, we could have put this one, we could have put this test up here, but we only want this code executing if it's a post request, not if it's a get request, and it comes all the way down here and echoes this out, and that's it.